Okay, then welcome everyone. My name is Stefan Lager. I'm in charge from the board of this working group that we have called Trends in Supply Chain Management. And what we are trying to do from the chamber is to exemplify how some of our members approach their production and value chains and what they see as the trends or what they are taking as a decision moving forward. And as part for that, maybe there is some chance for Czech companies to work as well and find some opportunities in these changes. So if we look back a few years, since 2000 actually, the value of goods traded globally has tripled to more than 10 trillion euros annually. And businesses have successfully implemented a lean global model of manufacturing. They have achieved improvements in inventory levels, on time, in full deliveries, and shorter lead times. However, what has happened over the last few years is that while the production networks were designed for efficiency and cost and proximity to markets, they were not necessarily done for transparency or resilience. And what we have seen with the trend in trade tensions and now COVID, of course, that has led to some speculation, at least, that companies could shift to more domestic production or look at more close, like regional sourcing instead. So what we have seen or looked at is that the trends that has affected the whole global value chains, they have included, for instance, the trade wars between the economic superpowers in the globe. We have seen governments act to bolster domestic production of some goods, vaccine, for instance, that they seem essential or strategic from a national security or competitive perspective. We have also seen new technologies like artificial intelligence. We have these computer chips that are going in everywhere. And they are challenging the old assumption that resilience can only be purchased as a cost of efficiency, which is not necessarily the truth anymore. And then, of course, companies started to base location decisions on other factors and just cost, including access to highly skilled talent or highly skilled workforce. We are looking at supplier ecosystem. We have looked at sustainability. We're looking at infrastructure, business environment, etc., etc. The results have been that value chains and trade is becoming more regionally concentrated, particularly within Europe and Asia Pacific. And this has enabled companies to serve major markets quickly and responsively. So this is what the Nordic Chamber have been interested in looking into, specifically hearing what our own members are doing in this respect. And we would therefore like to welcome two of our members here today and see what their take on this is. So I will hand over right now to our moderator.
What do you think about the potential deglobalization? Because even some economists remark that there is the risk or there is the possibility of deglobalization because of the pandemic, because of localization of the supply, because of nearshoring, shortening of the supply chains, because of the geopolitical tensions between West and China, and because of some nationalism and the effort of the even countries like United States to move the production back to their homeland. So how do you see it in the let's say in the next 10 years? Do you see it like the globalization from the pre-pandemic period will continue, or there will be some change, slowing down of the globalization or even deglobalization tendency. So we can start now with Jan and then with Petr and Michal.
If you look at SKF, what we have said is localization, and now we do that. So we have put people on developing suppliers in both Europe and East Europe to find new supply. We are moving our volumes back. And if you look at Mexico, for example, where we buy a lot from Korea, but now we don't have suppliers there. What do? We develop suppliers. So we go with some suppliers where they set up a factory. It will take a couple of years, but that's what we are doing. I cannot speak really for the whole industry. I can speak for what we do, but we localize.
Okay, Petr?
Okay, I fully agree with what Jan already presented in his presentation, that it's moving to the near sourcing or near shoring, that these companies would like to back up their difficulties or to avoid some risks or limit their risks. So I do believe that in 10 years, near shoring will be a trend more than globalization. Yeah.
Michal?
Yeah, I also see that there will be a change, but again, then the consumers have to realize that they need to pay more for their product. And again, also, as Jan has in his presentation, I forgot to mention that as well, that the CO2 and the extra taxes that are or will be on bunker and fuel will also do that you will see a change. But in my eyes, before the consumer will pay a little bit more for the product, then you will still see that they will have a production of the cheapest place. And you can take an example as a Dane. I can see and follow discussions about the food. There's a lot of all those people who are against that we are transporting live animals from Denmark to Poland to have them slaughtered, and then we send back the meat to Denmark and sell it. Yes, but the same family who is against that, they are not the ones who are picking up the 2 crowns more per kilo package of food in the supermarket. But overall, that is just an example. But before we all think about where is it coming from, then you will not see a change. But I think it will be coming because it is a growing trend that people are more aware about environment and CO2 neutral and all that. So it will come. But again, it comes when the consumers have more power and they will do buying from the right sources.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, all of you. Lea, do you want something to add?
I don't need to add anything because you debate really in a deep details, and I thank you, all of you, very much for your participation.
The same with me. Thank you very much. Thank you, Lea, for organizing this event. Thank you, of course, Nordic Chamber of Commerce in the Czech Republic. Thank you, especially the speakers of the seminar, Michal Sjelgaard, Managing Director of DSV RNC, Petr Chocholatý, Managing Director of the same company, DSV, its road division, and Jan Soderlund, Indirect Purchasing Director of SKF company from Sweden. Gentlemen, thank you very much for being with us today in this forum. Hopefully we'll meet next time in person.